understand that we have some breaking news regarding the troops that were based in South Sudan, the Kenyan troops, that is the Kenya Defense Forces. We understand they have jetted back into the country after the mission was suspended by the Kenyan authorities following the spat that occurred between the KDF as well as actually the UNMISS troops and the United Nations. Live pictures will be showing us shortly, and those are the live pictures when the Kenya Defense Forces have just checked in Kenyan airspace. And of course, this marks the first end of the mission where Kenya was participating, as they had also submitted troops to take part in the peacekeeping mission in South Sudan, where the country continues to face some significant political upheavals. Well, that is the UNMISS, I beg your pardon. They have just landed at the airport. There are live pictures coming to us. We'll be speaking to our reporter Nicholas Wambua, who is actually joining us right now. And good afternoon, Nicholas. What do we know so far about the latest arrival by the KDF troops that were based in South Sudan? We'll be getting him shortly, but let's just have a look at the live pictures. That's from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Well, those are live pictures from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, where the UNMISS KDF soldiers have just landed following the decree that was issued by the president, having them to return back to the country. We're now joined by Nicholas Wambua by way of phone. And good afternoon, Nick. Tell us, what do we know so far about how many of the KDF officers have landed, and what's the next step and course of action, really?
As you can see, just a number of our KDF officers who are getting back into the country. We were expecting them to be here by 1 p.m. That is exactly 1 o'clock, but they got late a bit. But as you can see, the numbers are big. As you can see them, they are really dressed well. That is in the army, in blue. That indicates the UN operation in different parts of this continent. But just to mention, this was following the dismissal of Lieutenant General Johnson Kimani Ondieki, who was the first command of the UN mission in South Sudan. And after the dismissal, as you can remember, a week ago, then President ordered them that the troops be back to the country from South Sudan. That meant that, or that seemed to be, it was a disrespect into the manner in which the officer was dismissed from the troops. And therefore, President ordered this, saying that until the UN or the UN was supposed to do a proper dismissal apart from this. Therefore, these guys jetted back, that is the army. And therefore, it is quite a good number, and they're still coming out of the plane. So yes, we're expecting to talk to some of the senior officers in the mission or in the army, and therefore to address us and to tell us what was the experience and what it was like. So we're expecting that we'll be speaking to some of the senior officers. Therefore, I'll just mention something little that just from the report, the manner in which the officers were dropped. Therefore, through the Ministry of through the Ministry of Affairs or the International Affairs, they say that they were supposed to do the dismissal in a proper manner, and therefore they wrote a letter to Ban Ki-moon saying that they are going to drop out the officers from South Sudan. Back to you in studio.
Well, many thanks there, Nicholas Mbua, just giving us the live updates regarding the UNMISS KDF troops that were based in South Sudan as they check into the country following the protests by the Kenyan government after the dismissal of the general actually, that was heading the command center in South Sudan. We continue to get more details, and of course we'll be crossing over later to get more perspectives into this particular developing story.